A worthy opponent!
I can't do this just yet. I can't do this just yet.
Approach. Make your wish. Approach.
My spirit is spent.
We are victorious for now.
You will know pain! Inevitable! I will bathe this world in blood! Impressive, but futile.
Greetings. Journey well.
Nope. Nope. Nope, nope. Audio. Audio. Audio.
So what does affordable housing look like in the US? It's pretty much everybody's vehicles now. That's the growing trend. People are moving into their cars because they can't afford the rent, and they realize that it's an upward battle that they're not able to fight.
I've been living in my car with my 2 cats for several months, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of that situation, but I don't really know what I can do. If the average price of an apartment is around $1,600 and you need to make 3 times the rent in order to be approved for an apartment, you have to make $4,800 a month, or at least $30 an hour. That's not happening right now. So I don't really know how I can get an apartment unless I can find a really well-paying job. I've been working a seasonal job that definitely doesn't pay $30 an hour, with the hopes that I could save up enough money and then move to a city I'd like to live in and find a landlord that might take pity on my soul and sign me to a lease even if I don't make the exact amount of income. But I just don't even know if that will actually be possible. I have a friend that can get me a serving job in California, but that's not guaranteed income, and everything I've tried to research says that servers have to have several months worth of income or bank deposits stacked up before they can consider being approved for an apartment. So I don't really know what to do, because California is also a lot harder to overnight park. So I don't even know if I can go down there and live in my car and work to build up income in order to be approved for an apartment. I don't really have a co-signer. I don't really know what I can do. So if anybody has advice, please let me know, because I'd like to give my little kitty cats homes.
I've been homeless for the last 7 months and trying to hide it. Then I realized how many people are in the same shitty position that I'm in. So I'm gonna tell you how I've been surviving it. I started this morning at 6 o'clock. I woke up at a rest stop where I slept in my car. Thank God it didn't rain last night. I got up, I drove to Planet Fitness. I fixed my hair, I brushed my teeth. I halfway charged my portable batteries so that I can run my cooler that pretty much like lives in my car all the time. People always ask me about those batteries. There's a lot more people than I realize that are in the same position or that are just on the road or on the go or whatever and need resources. Because we're humans, we're needy, right? So now I'm at the gas station. I figured out that truck stops and gate gas stations have microwaves. So I'm gonna heat some food up in this gas station and probably change my shirt. Later on, I do have a hotel reservation. Hopefully that will work out. I have mast cell activation and chemical sensitivity, so usually hotels don't work out for me, but I thought it's a Hilton, it's less fragranced. I thought I would give it a shot. Could really use a place to like stretch out and lay down, charge all my stuff, get things out of my car, unpack, so I can see what's in here, because it's so crowded and cramped that like I can't even see what the I have in here. So that's today. This is 7 months of being homeless and staying alive until I find an Airbnb or a place to live that isn't making me sick.
My name is Alexis and I live in this minivan. Today I'm finally going to give you a tour of the inside. This is Midnight Rain. She's a 2008 Toyota Sienna. And this is my home. I've had her for just a couple of months now. So just to give you an idea of how I put all of this together, this is a camping cot with an 8-inch memory foam mattress on top of it. This is a toy box I got on Amazon, and it houses all of my clothes. And Toby usually sleeps up here. I have his water bowl here so he can reach it. This curtain was also an Amazon find. It
I can't do this just
was
yet.
$30, and it fits so perfectly in here. In this corner over here, I have this, which is where I normally sit my tablet so that I can watch TV. And then I have some journals and books in this corner. I have 4 of these purple tubs stacked up for storage. I got each of these for $5 at Walmart. They are full of random things, like this one has sweaters in it, and I think this one has some bathroom stuff in it. I have a cooler here, but the only thing in it right now is bananas, and then the trusty V8 energy that I am addicted to. This is Toby, the love of my life. On the back of the driver's seat, I have an organizer with a lot of stuff that I use all the time, like scissors. There's some bug spray here. This is the dog's bowl and the dog's leash. I have some like poop bags down here. Under the seat here, I have a first aid kit. Please don't mind the rug. I don't know what I was thinking when I got black carpet, and the vacuum I have is just not strong enough to pick up all this little shit on the floor. And then under the bed, this is dog food and dog sweaters. This one over here is like bathroom stuff that I use all the time, like Q-tips, there's baby wipes in here. And then here is like some snacks and water. I'm hoping to upgrade my water storage soon. So then over here is like obviously where I sleep. This is Salem, but I use her as a neck pillow and she just stays right over here. This area, this is like my little nightstand. So I have a bunch of different chapsticks in here. In here I have ibuprofen, melatonin, stuff like that. These are my window coverings. I just use Velcro like this to hang them up. My TikTok fan that has come in handy more than enough times. I use it to charge my phone. Hopefully soon I can buy a Jackery and that'll be fun. I have a candle here because I love a good scent, and then toilet paper for when I go to the bathroom. This is my bathroom. And this is my hygiene bag. It's full of like my shower stuff, everything like that. The passenger seat is kind of crazy because I have some blankets up here that I have to put in storage. But normally it would just be like my laundry bag for dirty clothes. Down here I have like my laundry detergent. This is the pet sling. But then I also have like a bunch of cleaning stuff down here. The handheld vacuum. We're still trying to catch a mouse up in here. But this is the van. This is my home. I'm very proud of it. I know it took me a while to do a tour of the inside, but it's always messy in here. And I don't like cleaning. So I finally cleaned it today and it looks good. I hope you guys like it because I love it.
I've lived in my car for about 9 months now, and here are 3 things that I think are non-negotiables if you're planning on moving into your car. First one is tinted windows. I don't think it's a good idea to move into your car unless you have tinted windows. And I do understand that tinted windows can be very expensive, but I beg you to please find a way to pay for them because it's just not safe without them. Number 2 is a gym membership. This is where you will shower, this is where you will brush your teeth sometimes, where you will work out for the day. This will make all the difference in your happiness. Please get a gym membership. Preferably a gym that's open 24 hours, 7 days a week. When I'm traveling, I go for a Planet Fitness membership. Not all of them are open 24/7, but some of them are, and a Planet Fitness membership is only $25 a month. And when I'm not traveling, I just use these local gym. If there is not any gyms open 24/7, any gym will work, although 24/7 is preferred. And number 3 is window covers. Please get window covers. This is also another safety thing. You don't want anyone to be able to see in your car. You don't want anyone to know that you live in your car.
A stranger just came over to me to check that I was okay in the car park, and now I can't stop crying. Because it's like, you just forget that you're actually human, you know? And someone treats you like you're human. But he just kept saying, I know I'm just a stranger, but you'll pull through, like, you're gonna be okay.
You have no idea how many people have to sleep in their cars and still show up for work the next day. Please just be kind to people, because in this economy we're currently in, it's something like we haven't seen since the Great Depression era. And it's a weird economy because we have the technology, so it feels like we're not doing as bad. But when you actually look at the numbers, especially for people with kids mainly, see, I don't have any kids, so I'm able to actually do pretty good for myself. But be kind to people, especially the people with kids, because the inflation is so high, everything's unaffordable. It's whole families sleeping in minivans right now. That's almost the new normal, believe it or not. So just remember that you never know what somebody next to you going through, and you never know what you're going to be going through. So always have gratitude for what you have now, whether that's a car roof, whether that's a van roof, whether that's a house roof, or just a tent roof, or, you know, even not even having any roof and just having your health. Just please keep it on the forefront of your mind that having gratitude and being kind goes a long way.
Hey, I'm homeless. I live in my car, and I'm going to show you how I get ready for bed when it's cold outside. I think it's supposed to dip down into like the teens tonight, like 19 degrees or something like that. So first order of business is to warm this car up before I get all snug as a bug in my bed. So right now I have the car running with the heater going, and I'll do that for about 10 to 15 minutes. And I put my privacy curtains up on my front windows. This is what they look like. I don't know if you can see up close, but basically they have little clips that clip in here, and then I tie up here in the middle.
Impressive,
and here's
but
what
futile.
my front windshield cover looks like. It's just one of these little doohickeys.
Inevitable.
And I always put my pillow up here in the front with me while I'm heating up my car so it gets nice and warm, because I hate sleeping on an ice cold pillow. And I put my back window covers on. I have to get out of the car and do that. There are these little, like, screen type ones. I guess they're like, I don't know, they're breathable. And they just slide over the glass. Here's a better idea of what they look like. They just slide on here. Like so, like that. So it's all warm and toasty now, so I'm gonna hop in the back. Ooh, yay! Now I lock my car so nobody can get me. And now I just wrap up in my Magellan low temp sleeping bag. Actually, I use it as a blanket and cover myself and kind of tuck it under. And even though it's going to be frigid, I'm going to be super cozy and comfortable. It's a process, but it's worth it.
This is my nighttime routine whenever I am car camping. I'm parked at a gas station right now. I just went in and washed my face and changed into my pajamas. Now we're gonna brush my teeth. I would normally brush my teeth in there, but I didn't want to use the gas station water. Actually, where is my toothbrush? Okay, I found it. I really need to throw away all the trash in my car, because since I'm in my car all the time, I end up with like empty water bottles in here. So I usually just use a gas station trash can. And take that, Alani. I spilled all my shells on the ground. That's a tomorrow problem. I definitely need to make my bed, but I don't know if I should make it here because I'm at a gas station and I don't want these people to know that I'm sleeping in my car so that they don't like follow me and steal me. I may just sleep with all the clothes back there. I made it to where we're sleeping, and now I just always make sure that the doors are locked. I usually like triple check. I'm actually gonna back in instead, and I climb back there. Okay, this is the bed. I actually think I like all the clothes on top because it makes it less noticeable that I'm under.
The 5 subscriptions that the 2025 Toyota Camry has, because y'all want to know, and when I bought it exactly 1 year ago, I was shook too, and my free trials just expired.
9 times 84, you know? That's robbery on a Wrangler.
It's funny to me as cars get newer and they
You want to know, and when I bought it exactly 1 year ago, I was shook too, and my free trials just expired.
9 times 84, you know? That's robbery on a Wrangler.
It's funny to me as cars get newer and the technology gets newer, I think they're actually going to get worse.
Your car, it's probably spying on you. Every time you start your car, plug in your seatbelt, stop suddenly, accelerate. There's a good chance your car is recording it and sending it off. And according to them, you gave them permission.
With the advancements in technology in recent years, we can only assume that modern cars are getting better, safer, and smarter. right? Of course not. I feel like modern cars are the definition of over-engineering something and creating problems that never needed fixing in the first place. Today, we're going to be looking at some of the most useless features in today's modern vehicles, some that are downright dangerous. We're also going to be talking about the rise in subscription services for your vehicle and how your car is probably secretly spying on you.
The 5 subscriptions that the 2025 Toyota Camry has.
Well, number 1 is the Drive Connect, which, as you can see, now says subscribe. Every time I turn my car on, no matter what, it says subscribe now. So this is an AI service I can pay for. This is also if you want to use the built-in navigation. So unless you don't pay and you don't use CarPlay, you can't use anything. Also behind a paywall is the audio feature. Also, if you don't have CarPlay, you'll no longer be able to listen to music here. Thankfully, which I thought I was wrong, but the SOS button where you can call 911 if you wreck, it'll connect you to a dispatcher and send them to your location. That, I bought the car new, so I don't know what the deal is if you don't have a new car, is active for 10 years until my free trial expires. Same with the service features. So that's a feature in the app that will basically tell me whenever I need an oil change, I'll get a reminder. If there's any recalls, it notifies me. I think that's the majority of what it does. Now on to the different subscription tiers. So the different options. Now this is what I see when I open the app now. It's expired. So I can no longer start my car from inside my house. I can no longer preheat it. Literally is just now getting cold and just snowed for the first time. So I'm so stressed about that. That's the only major con. And for me, I use CarPlay. So these are not deal breakers because I don't use these features. If the app feature was a 10-year free trial, I would have loved that too because I only paid $42,000 in full. You know, not too much.
BMW got so much backlash, especially for its heated seats subscription. Customers were outraged. They felt that they had already paid for the hardware upon purchase of the car, which is exactly what they did. And now BMW is trying to double dip and profit once again by making them pay for that subscription. BMW responded by removing the subscription for heated seats. And this is what we need to do. We need to submit our feedback on these vehicles, on their subscription models, on their features that we don't like. We need to boycott these companies and vote with our dollar. We truly have so much power as the customer. If we stop as consumers purchasing these vehicles and buying these subscriptions, these companies will be forced to play fair.
Instead of having a simple key like this, just insert in the door somewhere, you know, key's never going to not work, right? You know, sometimes you unlock your lock button, that might not work, but at least you're going to get in with the key. But what happens when you need to get in the car? And let's just say the battery's dead, right? So where do you insert, oh, actually that's funny, it's a blank, I forgot about that. So yeah, where do you insert the would-be key, right? Don't worry, Ford is 4 steps ahead of you with this. So you just take this little panel off, grab that jump box that you would have in your car, and you're going to jump start it. Jump this, literally with the jump pack, and then that will open the front, which then lets you jump the battery. That then lets you power the door to press the button to get back in your car. Because a key just would have been way too difficult.
I just have no words for how stupid of a design that is and how it just makes 0 sense for the consumer.
The automotive industry's general approach to privacy could be summed up in one word: permissive. But not in the way that benefits people. They're collecting things like personal data, biometric data, social data, and not letting anybody really understand how it's being used or who it might be sold on to.
First, GM packaged Mike's every move and analyzed it internally. Then, they sold it to data brokers, companies that exist to buy and sell your personal data. Mike's data didn't just train some opaque system. LexisNexis and Verisk transformed it into something much more concrete. A risk score that can follow him everywhere.
And this kind of behavioral telemetry gives insurers granular insight to risk assessment, often more than what's inferred from the claims history.
Hard brakes, small object near miss, quick accelerations. That makes the score worse, and it gets sold to insurance companies, with General Motors getting a cut.
For me, having this concrete data point that GM and OnStar gave this information to my insurance company, and I can easily see how from reading that LexisNexis report, it can be used to justify raising my rates. My rates did increase.
The more I learn, the more violated I feel, and I think that the only solution here really is to buy used cars. But what scares me is at some point, the new cars of today will be the used cars of tomorrow. So these features will be in there. This is all becoming normalized, and it's not going away anytime soon. It's pretty terrifying. Modern cars now have privacy policies similar to modern phones. And I feel like we all know that our phones spy on us. I think people make that joke all the time, like, it's listening to me, I'm getting targeted ads. But the problem with this is that they are literally using our own private information against us to take more money out of our wallets and put it into theirs through an insurance risk score based on your driving habits. Absolutely terrible.
Nobody wants it, and that's why the dealership's having the discount. I mean, look, what dealership wants to do this? And this shows the price is wrong to begin with. $48,000 from 63, 2025 Dodge Charger. Of course they're going to have to discount it because, I mean, think about that. A fake exhaust sound EV. Look at that, $10,000 off. That's the only way. And then we got $100,000 Jeeps. Literally, I'm not even joking. Look at this, $101,000 from 106. So the actual MSRP is 106 for a Wrangler. Like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a $100,000 Wrangler? Yes, it actually exists. And here you go. And look at this, $84,000. Look at the payment, $1,355 for 84 months. Think about financing $1,385 for 84 months. Let's look at this payment because what is it? Over $1,600? I mean, some people's mortgage payment on a Jeep Wrangler. I mean, look at this, do the math on that one. 1639 times 84, you know? That's robbery on a Wrangler.
And that Jeep was about $100,000. So just in interest alone, if you finance this vehicle, you're going to be paying almost $38,000 extra. Another thing that these dealerships do that bother me is they put the loan terms in months instead of years. Like, why are we saying 84 months? Just tell it like it is. It's 7 years of your life. Imagine buying this car at 23 years old. You're going to be financing it until you're 30. And logically, I know why they do this. It's because it sounds better than saying, oh, you want to have a 7-year auto loan? Instead, they say you're going to have an 84-month auto loan.
I seriously need to know why all these old, faded headlight used cars are like over $6,400 for a 2013 with 175,000 miles. Nobody is going to buy these cars. What? The Honda CR-Vs for $13,000. Is this normal?
The 2013 Mazda for $6,400 with 175,000 miles on it was mind-blowing. For anyone who buys that car, there is absolutely no guarantee how long that car will last with that mileage. It could either die the next day or it could die at 200,000 miles. Who knows, but that thing I would say probably only has about 25,000 miles left in it. And next, if this wasn't all bad enough as it is, if you are in the market for a new car, you're gonna have to deal with these salesmen when you go into the dealership.
Never say these 10 words in car sales. The wrong language can cost you a deal and kill your commissions. Instead of using the word buy, say invest. This is a great investment. Instead of using the word problem, use the word challenge. It's the credit that's a problem. No, the credit is challenging, but we will try our best. Instead of using the word cheap, use the word cost effective. Instead of using the word contract, say agreement. Contract can scare some customers off. Agreement is something friendly. Instead of using the word cost, say value. This one's very important, value. And last but not least, instead of actually saying the numbers when presenting, always point, never actually say it. The words you use set the tone for how people trust, like, and believe you. And you know in car sales, when they trust, like, and believe you, the chances of you selling a car raised by 72%. If you want high-level results, you need high-level
What an
vocabulary.
asshole.
Because poor
Fuck
word
that
choice
guy.
leaves rich deals on the table.
So great, let's just beat around the bush and use euphemisms that make things sound better than they actually are to manipulate our customer into a
that's
choice
his
that
job,
they
I
may
guess,
not
though,
want
right?
to make. Let's not use words like
Illinois just approved a data center the size of 600 football fields. It will consume more than half the amount of electricity as the entire city of Chicago. But the silver lining to this is that hundreds of community members came out to say no against this proposal. But unfortunately, the city just didn't give a and approved it anyway. Remember, these are the same people that tell you to take shorter showers.
In Indianapolis, a Democratic city councilor had 13 shots fired at his doorstep with a note that read, "No data centers." This comes after months of residents voicing their concerns, saying they don't want a data center built in their city, and yet their representatives aren't listening. They're moving ahead with development. The data center is being built by a company called Metro Blocks. Let's look at their website. They proudly state, Indianapolis is emerging as a cost-effective Midwest data center hub, driven by industry-leading tax incentives and competitive power pricing. Industry-leading tax incentives translates to they pay little to no taxes. They then go on to boast about this 138 kilowatt substation that will be located right next to where they build the data center. It's energy they can directly tap into. The data center will span 14 acres, but notice this location. This is what sets Metro Blocks apart from other data center developers. They develop in metro areas, in the heart of cities. Every single point on their website is exactly why people are furious. Our representatives, the people we vote for to represent our best interests, are giving away our water, our energy, and our taxes to the people who need it the least.
This is the farmland that you're driving through until you come to the AI data center. You can start to see the lights from back here. I knew they were starting this, but I didn't know it was this impactful. Look at all the semi trucks, all the cement trucks you'll drive by, and it just keeps going and going, continues on for more and more. This Meta AI data center that they are putting in here, that's taking up all this beautiful farmland that we will never be able to replace. It's only going to employ 1 to 500 people. So all this for about the same amount of jobs as my local Walmart. And there it stops finally.
Just days after Indianapolis approved this Metro Blocks data center, yet another one was approved in Liberty, Missouri. And again, residents pushed back, but it didn't change the outcome. Let's look at the numbers. The data center cost $1.4 billion to build. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe proudly announced it will bring 30 high-quality jobs. In exchange, Missouri gives up $200 million in tax revenue. Metro Blocks has agreed to pay roughly $49 million back to things like schools and fire stations over this 25 years. Missouri is giving up over $200 million in taxes to get back just $49 million. The math isn't mathing. The governor is betting that this facility will generate even more in taxes after this 25-year period. But nobody knows where AI is going. I mean, in the next 3 years, that building could be completely empty because AI was oversold and underutilized.
I think that we all collectively should just stop paying our electric bill, because this is getting out of hand. There has to be something that we collectively can do. $814 for 1 month of electric? This is ridiculous. How do they expect people to be able to keep their lights on when the bill is half of my mortgage?
People are literally paying thousands of dollars a month now for their electricity bills because these AI data centers are moving in and taking all of the electricity. What makes this even worse is that in the US, public schools are funded through property taxes. The majority of these thousands of data centers do not pay property taxes. So the very place that children go to learn how to think critically, research, and ask questions, those schools are being defunded to subsidize billion-dollar corporations. But ask yourself, why would our representatives want a dumb population? Why would they want people that don't know how to ask questions?
These corporations have taken everything. They've raised the prices on things. They've priced us out of our own lives. It's so bad to the point where you have to make your choice. Either you pay your bills or you buy food. People that are a part of the system, that get up every day, that go to work, that pay their taxes, that do what they're supposed to do, that don't break the law, that work hard. We do all that. We work that hard, and we don't have enough money to even live. Everything is owned by BlackRock and State Street. All of it, it's owned by billionaires. The American dream is 100% dead.
People are angry, but more importantly, people are reaching a point where they feel they have nothing left to lose. So they're acting on that rage. Sam Altman was targeted twice in the same weekend. A 20-year-old went to Altman's San Francisco home and threw a Molotov cocktail at it. He then went to OpenAI's headquarters, threw a chair at the glass doors, and threatened to burn the building down. When police found him, they also found a document describing the risks AI poses. It was titled, "Some Words on the Matter of Our Impending Extinction." There were also names and addresses of other AI executives, board members, and investors. Less than 48 hours later, 2 more people were arrested after shots were fired outside Altman's home. Sam Altman responds to this incident on his blog. He opens it with a photo of his child and husband, a clear attempt to humanize himself. He then goes on to claim, "Working towards prosperity for everyone, empowering all people, and advancing science and technology are moral obligations for me." This from a man whose company just closed their latest funding round, valuing OpenAI at $852 billion. Extreme wealth concentrated among a very small group of investors. And let's not forget, OpenAI is not profitable. They're burning through billions, yet all of a sudden they're worth $852 billion? Analysts have been warning for months about circular deals. NVIDIA invests in OpenAI. OpenAI uses that money to buy NVIDIA chips. They both claim they made money. Remember, when the AI bubble bursts, Sam Altman will be fine. He's a billionaire. But for regular people, we will suffer the consequences of his actions. Yet his moral obligation is prosperity for everyone. He then compares the desire to control AGI to Sauron's ring from Lord of the Rings. This all-consuming power that makes people do crazy things, and his solution, he says, is that AI must be democratized, that no one should hold the ring. Can we please cut the bullshit? OpenAI's most powerful models are locked behind a subscription. OpenAI is majority backed by Microsoft, Amazon, and SoftBank. He claims AI needs regulation while spending $3 million on lobbyists in 2025 alone to make sure meaningful regulation doesn't happen. There is nothing democratic about any of this. And then he closes it with, "We should de-escalate the rhetoric." The call is coming from inside the house. He just spent this entire post comparing his technology to the most evil artifact in literary history. I genuinely believe he is so narcissistic that as he was writing this, he kept thinking, this is what I get for building abundance for them. He completely misses the point. This is part of something much bigger. We're seeing the names of executives, politicians, world leaders in the files with zero accountability. But notice when the billionaires need the police. All of a sudden, there's accountability. In fact, FBI Director Kash Patel already conducted an operation at the suspect's home. This guy in the Altman attack was arrested, booked, and charged within days. Because he's Sam Altman, all of a sudden the system is functioning as it should.
If you're not going to pay us enough to live or afford to live, at least pay us enough not to do this.
Arson investigators say this video posted to social media is part of their investigation into the warehouse fire early Tuesday morning in Ontario. It appears to show cases of toilet paper being set on fire, while a person repeatedly claims he isn't paid enough to live on.
The problem is our politicians have spent years dividing us, and now they're living it up with their billionaire donors while we argue amongst ourselves. This isn't left versus right. This is regular people versus people who decided that the rules don't apply to them.
And my company that I work for, their bread and butter is going to become data centers. The next project they want to send me to is a massive data center. Maybe 3 years ago would have been completely fine with that, even a year ago. But the more that I look into the impact that these data centers are going to have, not only on the people around there and the energy bill costs, but also just our water, carbon footprint of these places, is insane. And the fact that all of these data centers are being built for AI, I do not stand behind that. I do not use AI for anything. This is not the future that I want to give my daughter. This is not the future I want to give to the next generation, the generation after that. So I told my company that I didn't want to go work there. And it's going to get built with or without me, that I know, but I don't have to say that I contributed.